Libra, my beautiful soul. What if I told you that a woman who once stood beside you has secretly been trying to destroy you, and tonight, she is finally leaving your life forever? You didn't find this video by accident. Something far bigger brought you here. A divine alignment. A whisper from your higher self. A ripple in the fabric of energy that surrounds you. And now, this moment is your confirmation. Lately, have you felt uneasy? Have the days felt heavier than they should? Has your intuition been pulling you towards something? Or away from someone? That's not paranoia, Libra. It's clarity trying to find you. You see, the energy around you hasn't been clean. There's been interference. Subtle. Calculated. Draining. And the source of it all? A woman cloaked in false kindness. She might have called herself a friend, a sister, even a supporter. But behind the mask, she's been working in shadows, quietly dimming your light while pretending to reflect it. She envied your calm. She hated your balance. She feared the love you attract simply by being your authentic self. And yet, you kept giving. You kept hoping. You kept showing up with grace. But the time for enduring is over. Because tonight, something divine is stepping in on your behalf. A universal force is clearing your path. This woman's presence, her influence, her control, it's all dissolving now. Quietly. Powerfully. Permanently. And here's the miracle, you don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to confront her. You don't need revenge. The truth will reveal itself in the most unexpected way. A passing comment. A message from someone within her circle. A moment when the illusion cracks and you see everything clearly. Libra, this is more than karma. It's spiritual justice. It's divine timing. It's God saying, enough. So pause for a moment with me. Let's honor this turning point with awareness. This is not just a reading. This is your energetic release. The reset your spirit has been praying for. And before we continue, I want to thank you from the depths of my heart for being here. For every like, every comment, every time you share these messages or subscribe to this sacred space. You help this channel, Zodiac Whisper Tarot, grow into a sanctuary where truth, healing, and clarity are not just spoken but felt. Your presence fuels this mission. And if you feel something awakening in your heart right now, if you sense this message was meant for you, I invite you to type the number 11 in the comments below. 11 is the master number of spiritual awakening, of divine alignment, of truth-piercing illusion. And in this moment, it is your number. Your spirit already knows what this video is about. It's known all along. So stay with me, Libra. Because by the end of this message, you'll not only understand what's been happening, you'll feel free from it. Completely. Finally. Eternally. Sometimes the most dangerous battles are not the loud ones, they are the ones fought in silence, beneath the surface of our own perception. Libra, when someone invades your energy field not with open attack but through emotional manipulation, it is one of the most spiritually complex tests the universe can assign. As an air sign ruled by Venus, your natural tendency is to give love, to mediate, to trust beauty even when it wears a mask. And that is exactly why this experience has cut so deep. It didn't come as fire, but as a subtle imbalance that slowly tilted the scales you so desperately tried to keep aligned. In astrology, when the sign of Libra is out of balance, it's often due to external forces disguising themselves as harmony. It is the illusion of peace that creates the most chaos. This woman, the one who played the role of confidant, perhaps even protector, was not just a toxic presence. She was, in energetic terms, a vibrational disruption. Someone whose spiritual frequency began to distort your clarity, your decision-making, and most dangerously, your connection to your own intuitive wisdom. But energy never lies. No matter how pretty the words, how gentle the voice, or how close the proximity, eventually, your spirit began to signal discomfort. The discomfort you couldn't name. That whisper in your chest that said something isn't right. That hesitation you dismissed in the name of loyalty or compassion. Those were not weaknesses, Libra. Those were divine internal alarms. Your intuition has been fighting for you even while you tried to keep the peace. This lesson you've faced isn't punishment. It's preparation. You are being taught to trust yourself again. To refine your inner compass, so that going forward, your soul will recognize truth not by how it sounds but by how it feels. This woman, this karmic mirror, was not placed in your life to destroy you, but to strengthen the boundaries of your discernment. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels like betrayal. But it's also a blessing in disguise, a divine reset that will now allow you to rebuild only what is aligned with your highest vibration. From the perspective of divine timing, nothing is ever revealed too early. Sometimes God allows the illusion to remain intact not because He's turning a blind eye, but because He is waiting for your spirit to be ready to see, and not just with the eyes, but with truth that pierces the veil of charm and charisma. And once you see it, Libra, you cannot unsee it. That's when the scales return to you. Not because someone apologized, but because you reclaimed them. Even in a busy, chaotic world, divine order is never out of reach. In the quiet corners of daily life, whether you're cooking dinner, driving home, or laying awake at night, He is speaking. Not in grand gestures, but in small, tender nudges that remind you, I see you. I haven't forgotten what was done to you. And I am restoring you now. So if you feel that ache of disappointment still lingering, let yourself grieve it. Let it run through you without shame. But don't stay in that place. Because what's coming is not just relief, it's clarity. What was once disguised will lose its power. And what was once hidden is now becoming your strength. You were never meant to stay broken from this. You were meant to rise because of it. Keep listening, Libra. The universe is about to show you why that silence in your spirit wasn't fear, it was discernment being born. There's a certain stillness that falls before something divine takes place, not loud, not chaotic, but eerily quiet, like the final inhale before an exhale of truth. Libra, if you felt that silence lately, if your dreams have become strangely vivid, your emotions oddly weightless, and your thoughts unusually reflective, then you're already standing in the threshold of a new cycle. A subtle shift is taking place within your energy field, one you might not fully understand yet, but your soul has already started to respond to. These are not coincidences. They are energetic signals from the universe that something is being removed from your path, something that has overstayed its alignment in your life. You're not crazy for sensing something off, even when nothing on the surface seems wrong. That feeling is often the first sign of vibrational interference being dissolved. It means the field around you is being cleansed, delicately and divinely, in preparation for clarity and balance. What once felt like inner fog is beginning to thin out, not because you're doing anything drastic, but because the universe is stepping in to restore what has been disrupted for far too long. This woman who once appeared central to your story, whether as a friend, confidant, family member, or trusted support, has served her spiritual purpose. And now, without you having to initiate conflict or uncover secrets, the balance of power is gently but firmly shifting. The truth will not come crashing down in public spectacle. It will arrive in whispers, through a subtle glance, an unintended slip, a message from someone in her orbit who didn't even know they were holding the key. That's how divine correction works. It unfolds without vengeance, without mess, but with perfect timing. If we were to interpret this moment through the lens of tarot, it would reflect the energy of the Tower in reverse. Rather than a violent collapse, this is a quiet dismantling. Structures built on illusion are beginning to loosen. Not in dramatic explosions, but in cracks, little fractures in her web of influence that quietly expand until the whole facade can no longer hold its weight. And you, Libra, are being kept safely at a distance while it happens, because your growth requires preservation, not participation. Astrologically, this is your karmic closure. As a cardinal air sign ruled by Venus, your natural instinct is to bring harmony, to mediate, to restore, to fix. But this time, your role is to release. You are not here to save or confront, but to observe and let go. Your healing does not require war. It requires faith that when something is misaligned with your vibration, it will naturally exit when the higher order demands it. That time has come. Even if you didn't ask for justice, even if you never wanted things to fall apart, your spirit whispered what your words could not. That whisper traveled. And the universe heard it. This, Libra, is the unfolding of divine recalibration, not because you fought for it, but because you allowed space for it. And sometimes, that's the real courage, to stand still while something ends quietly, knowing it's the beginning of something far more aligned. Take this moment to soften your heart. Not toward the one who hurt you, but toward yourself, for holding it together so long. What's happening now is not destruction, it's divine preparation. A resetting of energetic architecture around your life. Trust that it is safe to let go. Trust that what's leaving was never yours to carry. Trust that what's coming has already been written in grace. What many don't understand about Libra is that your softness is not weakness, it's sacred architecture. You are designed to bring balance into spaces where imbalance rules. Harmony isn't just a preference for you, it's a spiritual calling, a frequency you carry into every interaction, relationship, and environment. But what happens when that natural grace meets someone who sees it not as beauty, but as a threat? Libra, your light disrupts those who are still hiding in their darkness. Your kindness confuses people who are used to manipulation. Your desire for fairness challenges those who benefit from power games and silent hierarchies. And so, it makes sense, in a painful kind of way, that you became the target of someone who had not yet healed their own inner chaos. People often attack what they cannot control, and what they cannot control is often what they secretly admire or fear. This woman's fixation on you was never truly personal, it was energetic. She saw in you a reflection of what she lacked, the ability to inspire trust without domination, to influence without ego, to stand firm without force. Your spirit radiated something she couldn't replicate, no matter how many masks she wore. And instead of doing the inner work to meet you on that level, she attempted to dim your light, hoping that if you lost your clarity, she could regain control over her own narrative. But you didn't lose your light, Libra. You simply started doubting its direction. And that doubt wasn't weakness, it was the beginning of awareness. Think of it as standing in a fog woven by someone else's projection. You weren't lost. You were discerning your way out of a pattern that was never yours to carry. Energetically speaking, the heart of Libra resonates in the fourth chakra, center of compassion, unconditional love, and forgiveness. But it's also the bridge between the earthly and the divine. When someone interferes with that center, it can feel like you're disconnected not only from others but from your very essence. That's why, in times like these, it's essential to return to what grounds you, not external approval or explanation, but inner truth. And even when you didn't speak up, Libra, you were still protected. You may not have drawn boundaries with your words, but the purity of your heart created its own shield. People with intentions rooted in harm can only exist in your field for so long before divine redirection occurs. That's not superstition, it's energetic law. The vibration of peace eventually repels chaos. Always. If you've been carrying guilt for letting her in, release it. If you've been questioning how you didn't see the signs sooner, offer yourself grace. When you're someone who sees the good in people, you can't always anticipate deception. But the lesson here isn't about never trusting again, it's about trusting yourself more deeply than you ever have before. You were not targeted because you were weak. You were targeted because you were strong enough to reflect back something real and someone who wasn't ready to face it. And in doing so, you unknowingly became part of their awakening too. Now, as you walk forward, know this: what was meant to break you has only built you. The peace you love so dearly is returning, this time on your terms. And the next time you extend your light, it will be met by those who carry light too. Keep shining, Libra. That's always been your greatest protection. There's a quiet kind of power that comes from choosing stillness when chaos wants you to react. Libra, in the architecture of the zodiac, you are the balance point, the cosmic reminder that equilibrium is not the absence of motion, but the presence of divine order. You don't need to chase justice because your very energy attracts it. Your role is not to retaliate, but to return inward, to let the universe do what it always does: restore. When someone wrongs you, especially in silence through whispers, manipulations, or passive distortions, it's natural to want to set the record straight. But the wisdom in your soul knows something greater. Truth never needs a defense. It simply needs time. Time to rise. Time to be revealed. Time to unfold through the hands of the divine, not through the friction of your own pain. You don't have to fight for what is already aligning in your favor. In fact, the more you surrender the urge to control how justice arrives, the more purely it will show up on your behalf. In the energetic world, every intention carries weight. The words we speak behind someone's back, the energy we direct toward another's spirit, even in thought, none of it disappears. It circulates. And when someone sends out harm, that energy is not lost. It simply travels until it finds its way home. The same way peace ripples outward from a calm heart, malice eventually echoes back to the one who sent it. The beauty of karma is that it isn't yours to enforce. It's already in motion. This doesn't mean the person who hurt you will be punished in a dramatic or visible way. Sometimes the most powerful consequences come in the form of internal unraveling. sleepless nights. A fractured mirror of self-perception. The slow collapse of relationships built on false narratives. These aren't things you'll always witness, but they happen, not because you willed them, but because universal law doesn't skip a beat. Your task now is to trust that truth is being delivered where it needs to be heard. That eyes will open. That conversations you never initiate will carry your side of the story without you ever needing to speak. And they will do so with more impact than any defense you could offer. Think of it like water reflecting the sky. It doesn't have to force clarity, it simply becomes still, and in that stillness, the full picture appears. As you lean into that stillness, you open space for grace to fill you. Not the kind of grace that forgets the wound, but the kind that transforms it. The kind that allows you to walk away with dignity instead of dragging the past behind you. The kind that makes you stronger not in your fists, but in your spirit. And when doubt creeps in, because it will, remind yourself of this: the universe keeps perfect records. And even if no one else sees the full story, your peace is the proof of your alignment. Your silence is not weakness, it is strategy. It is faith. It is the calm before everything corrects itself. If something in you resonates with this truth, if you're ready to stop carrying the burden of proving anything and simply allow justice to rise in its own time, leave a comment below that says, "I allow justice to unfold for me." Not to manifest punishment, but to affirm that you are choosing peace over performance. And that choice, Libra, is exactly what sets you free. There's something sacred about choosing to pause, to honor the quiet, and to become present with your own energy before a new cycle begins. Libra, you've gone through a spiritual storm, a silent unraveling that others may never fully see, but now you stand at the edge of something new. And how you choose to close this chapter is not just symbolic, it's energetically transformative. That's why this ritual, though simple, carries a deeper weight. It's not about ceremony for the sake of tradition, it's about alignment. Intention. Activation. When you light a white or pink candle, you're not just creating ambience. You're signaling to your own nervous system and to the vibrational field around you that a shift is underway. White holds the frequency of clarity, purity, and illumination. Pink resonates with self-compassion, heart healing, and unconditional love. Both of these energies are exactly what your spirit needs right now, after releasing the entanglement of manipulation and reclaiming your inner peace. As you sit in stillness with your hand over your heart, you're creating a direct connection to your most vital energy center, the heart chakra. This is where your intuition, your boundaries, your discernment, and your empathy all meet. It's where your identity as a Libra truly lives, in your desire to love without losing yourself. By placing your palm there and simply being still, you return to your center. And from that center, you declare out loud or in the quiet of your soul, "I release all energy that no longer serves my highest good. I welcome truth, balance, and peace. I deserve to live as my whole, authentic self." That one statement is not just an affirmation, it's a frequency shift. When you speak those words with intention, you're rewriting the energetic code around your body, breaking invisible ties, calling your power back, and opening space for the next version of yourself to land fully. According to the law of attraction, what you declare with clarity and belief begins to mirror back to you in your reality. That's why rituals like this are not about superstition theory, about synchronization. You become a vibrational match for the life you are calling in. And your soul recognizes when you're in alignment because peace arrives without needing explanation. In numerology, you might start to notice sequences like 1111, 2222, or 555 around this time. These are not coincidences, they are vibrational confirmations that you are in a moment of transition. 1111 signals awakening and spiritual alignment. 2222 is a master number of foundation building and divine balance. 555 is the number of radical change, energetic release, and personal transformation. These numbers often appear when your soul is trying to reassure you, yes, you're on the right path even if it feels unfamiliar. If these numbers show up on clocks, receipts, phone numbers, or dreams, consider them sacred breadcrumbs leading you back to yourself. You don't have to do anything elaborate to begin again. You just need to be present, to speak truth over yourself, and to allow your body and soul to agree on one thing: you are ready. Let this ritual be your gentle re-entry into wholeness. Let it be a soft but firm declaration that the story you just lived through is over and the new chapter isn't waiting, it's already beginning. And as you step into it, may you carry the quiet confidence that what was taken is being restored, and what was hidden is now ready to rise with you. Libra, if you've made it here, then you already know something profound has been unfolding inside of you. You've walked through emotional fog, stood still in the middle of someone else's storm, and now, slowly but surely, you're remembering your own light. You didn't collapse under the weight of manipulation. You didn't let confusion silence your truth. And most importantly, you didn't allow someone else's darkness to dim your divine design. That, in itself, is a quiet kind of power that not everyone will understand, but you will feel it in every part of your being. This journey wasn't about exposing anyone. It wasn't about vengeance or proving a point. It was about rising. It was about reclaiming what was always yours: your clarity, your boundaries, your voice, and your right to peace. And while the woman who tried to break you thought she held the power, tonight marks the moment where that illusion is undone, not with noise, not with drama, but with graceful release. Her presence fades into silence, not because you fought back, but because you chose freedom over entanglement. And now you stand in your truth, calm, self-led, radiant. The question now is, what will you do with this liberation? What do you want your next chapter to feel like, not just look like? Can you envision a version of your life where your intuition is trusted, where your heart is protected, and where your peace isn't up for negotiation? Because it begins right here. Not in tomorrow's perfect conditions, but in this exact breath. So I gently invite you to pause and ask yourself, what are you ready to release? What belief, pattern, or fear has overstayed its welcome? And more importantly, what would happen if you let it go completely? If you feel called, take a moment to comment below. I choose peace and divine truth. Because when you say it, when you write it, when you feel it, you're not just typing a phrase. You're anchoring a vibration. You're signaling to the universe that you are aligned, ready, and willing to step fully into the life that was meant for you. And if someone came to mind while you were watching this, someone who might need this message, someone walking through their own silent unraveling, send this video their way. Be their lighthouse. Because that's what we're building here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot, a community of light bearers who don't just survive but help others awaken. I want to thank you, from the depths of my soul, for sharing this space with me today. Every comment, every like, every subscription isn't just support, it's energy. It keeps this sacred space alive and allows us to continue delivering these messages that are not just heard, but deeply felt. You are part of something bigger now. And I truly believe, Libra, that the best version of you is not just coming, it's already arriving. So stay close. Stay open. Stay sovereign. And never forget, the truth doesn't need to shout. It just needs a willing heart to receive it. Yours is ready.